Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, first of all, I'm sorry for the lateness. There's some pressing issues that just occurred about 15 minutes before the live stream. And once again, we have a lot to talk about. The Federal Reserve did not do anything with the rates again. You here know, I've already talked about it on the live streams. You know what they're trying to do, and they're going to succeed. By not doing anything with the interest rates, we're going to talk about it. And who wins when they do this, and 3 ways to take advantage. We got a lot to talk about tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now Gear, the green edition. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you will get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for being here. I apologize for being way late, but it couldn't be helped. It has to do with our upcoming series of events that's happening, and it's being on Punta Cana hits promotions as we speak. We have other things going on as well. So there's a lot of things that I had to put a stop to before I started this live stream. But nonetheless, we will talk about that later after I get back with the venue. But there's a lot going on. So let's first start with the events of the day. Smash that like button. That's so the YouTube guys know that you're in the house. Make sure you share the videos if you can, because you never know who's looking for a little bit of help and they do not understand why they're living paycheck to paycheck. The reason why I know 6.5 to 7 people that you walk past are living paycheck to paycheck. Only 3 people may not be. But that's the situation at hand here in America and around the world. It's not just in America. So what's happening with the Federal Reserve? We're going to talk about that shortly, but let me see who's in the house that waited patiently. Laverne Penix has been here waiting patiently. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday Night Live edition, where it's members only that can be in the chat room. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, SSN Nation. I hope everyone is doing well. I received the notification and saw the trailer. That's one person. That's very good to hear. One has started off. And Laverne Penix, ladies and gentlemen, in our YouTube street is known as Mr. Cool here. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we have. Mr. Cool is in the house to start it off. Paul Castillo, another investor just like Mr. and Mrs. Cool, is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday Night live stream with that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. And he says, good evening, SSN family. Eric, that green color shirt you have is fire. Thank you so much, man. It's that Army edition or military edition. Thank you very much for that. And we've had it all along, ladies and gentlemen. It's just that most people chose black. Out of all the ones we had blue, we had green, we had black, and I'm trying to think if we had another color. But nonetheless, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Victor Marrero is here, soon to be retiree, T-minus 3 months. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday Night live stream. I'm up in here sweating, ladies and gentlemen. It's quite hot up in here where I'm at right now. I know. We need some air on something. So I'm going to have to do something short. But Victor Marrero, another investor's in the house. And like I said, he's going to be Mr. Worldwide, traveling all over the world shortly. And he brings his tagline. Hello, all. Let's do this. That's what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we do. We do this. Mo Better, welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday Night live stream with that lovely icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. And he's another investor that's here. He brings his tagline. What's up, SSN family? What's up, E? We about to take the top off Punta Cana on fire. Hey, if you guys, I still have that live stream up from about 5, 6, no, it would be like 8 months ago. When we're in Punta Cana, you see this man's face on the screen. You'll see this man's face on a live thumbnail from about 7 to 8 months ago in Punta Cana when he was there for the first SSN Nation Investors Forum at Punta Cana. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss it. 13th, 14th, and 15th of May. It's coming up in 2 weeks or less. You can still get cheap tickets. You know where? I put it in the email, Frontier, Spirit, JetBlue. And depending on what coast you're on, you will have options out of the major cities. So you can still come down and join us. And that's just part of the perks. All right. If you have any extras, send me a black or a green XX. These are limited edition, man. These are limited edition. Black, don't know. I have to double check because blacks, that's the one everybody always wanted. So I don't know about that. The green, I don't think I'm going to have anything in greens. But we'll see. I'll check it out either way. And he smashed that like button. He gave it a 1 piece, ladies and gentlemen. The Federal Reserve is holding rates. Do you know why? Do you know why? I know. There's some people here in the SSN Nation. They know we talked to Jerome Powell, right? He tells us what he's going to do. That I get the phone call. I know what he's going to do. I know the game plan. The game plan is to make sure the rich stay rich. That's the game plan. So once you start thinking like that, then you have to start thinking, what do the rich have? Then that means multiple businesses. That means in the stock market for starters. All right. That gives you a shortcut. So that should give you an idea. Because if you're a W-2 worker, you're always going to be at the mercy of your boss and at the mercy of what you get paid. You will not be getting 10% raises because inflation went up 8 or 10 or 12%. You will not be getting a 7% raise because inflation went up 7%. This is why there is a big disparity between CEO increase in pay over the last 50 years and employee pay over the last 50 years. Somebody might start asking, why is minimum wage still like $7 or $8? The same thing it was like 20 years ago or something. Crazy. But CEOs, hey, they're getting paid tens of millions of dollars. The ratio between employee pay and CEO pay is 1,000% difference. Thousands of percent difference. It's illegal. But you guys are out here working paycheck to paycheck. We're trying to stop this, right? I'm trying to sit here and help you along with the rest of the gentlemen and ladies that's in the SSN Nation. Normally, on any live stream on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or any other day, you can be in the chat room. But on Wednesday, one of the perks is members are the only ones that can be in the chat room. So once again, plenty of opportunity to buy in the market before it goes back up. That's right. You have to hit it when people are running away. That's the investor mentality. Thank you so much for that, Victor Marrero, because that's one of the 3 ways to take advantage. Very on point. That's what you have to do when there's blood in the streets, when there's selling going on. This is why you should handle it. And by the way, I was talking with someone about the VOO ETF. And from about 2010 to 2024 till today, the wealthy who bought VOO that we've been talking about for the last 6 years. But if you would have bought in 2010, your money would have increased in the VOO value of at least 351%. Damn near 4 times your money. Now, if somebody had money and hundreds of thousands of dollars, you wake up, now you have $500,000 because you decide to buy VOO in 2010. Now, even in the last 6 years, you have done well. Even in the last year at 20%, you've done well. Either way, it's S&P 500 total market fund. So, you know, they have the big boys. And who takes care of the big boys? The Federal Reserve that we're talking about right now. So the investor mentality means when there's blood in the streets, don't worry. The government of the United States always backs the rich guys. All right. Powell said today they'll get the inflation down to a constant 2%. The market is on life support because of that. Yeah, but he's not raising interest rates. See, this is the thing. It's a mathematical equation, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they do. But before I get into that, I got to do some things here because we have a little issue that I need to attend to. So I'm going to actually play a video. I need a longer one. This one might be just good enough. Let's see.
People call me the champ. That's not true. I'm a champ a long time ago. This is the champion, David Chu. Say hello. David Chu. Hello, everyone. Tell us what's the tournament that you just won a ridiculous amount of money in?
Well, what's the WPT?
Yeah, WPT where?
Polygon.
How much did you win?
3.4.
3.4 million dollars. David Chu just came home with. You're amazing. Amazing. Yes, let's give a hand for David Chu. We have David Chu here. Just won $3.4 million.
Can you break it 24 minutes?
How we doing? How's the table? Oh my God, Brett Butler's here. Brett Butler and I have a lot of history. He's the man who got absolutely no cards in the final table when we were together. It was unbelievable. I got so unbelievably lucky, and he got nothing sick. It was really sick. This man should have won a hell of a lot more money. How much did you win at the World Series, David?
3.2.
For real? He won $3.2 million, and he got absolutely no cards, got completely screwed, and I felt really bad, but it's not that bad. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. You're playing against Glenn Turbin, who's one of my old clients. Glenn is one of the great actors of our time. Glenn's been nominated for an Emmy this year for his HBO movie. You gotta come and talk to Glenn. You didn't recognize Glenn Turbin in your next crazy? I'm so sorry.
Oh, hiding out on me, man. Oh, my goodness.
Of course. Glenn, I miss you so much. We have Glenn Turbin in the house, everybody. Tell us about the movie that you're doing. You just did great feel. You're nominated for an Emmy this year.
Well, HBO put me up for the nomination.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for that little commercial. But here we go. Now, everybody on podcast, thank you so much for being here as well. Make sure you follow, smash the like button, subscribe, do all of that above, share the podcast as well. Now, let's get into it a little bit further, shall we? Because Victor Marrero brought up a very, very good point tonight. He brought up this right here that Powell and those guys are talking about 2%. That is just a ploy, ladies and gentlemen. VO returned 29.76 over the last year. SPY 29.58. Exactly. QQQ 39, both in 1 year. You can't go wrong owning any of these long term. Thank you so much for bringing that out. I appreciate it greatly. That's how it goes. I appreciate it. Very, very nice that he pointed these out because once again, 30% increase in the value of your shares of stock. This is why the big boys, the wealthy, get to stay ahead of you because they can borrow against these stocks that go up that amount or assets, shall I say. So that helps them out immensely. I don't even want to look at the market anymore. It's bad. It's not that bad. So here's how it works. You have to go long term. 1 year is what Victor Marrero just showed you on these stocks. That's 30% is not bad. So if you bought earlier when the stock market's at all-time high and now it has retreated maybe 10, maybe 15%, then yes, it would appear bad. But over the long run, 29, 30%, 40% over 1 year, and it retraces back 5%, 10%. And this is the numbers right now. I'm pretty sure he just pulled this. So even with the market coming down, this is the return. It was higher. So That's why long-term investing, and when there's blood in the streets, that's when you're supposed to buy. That's how it goes. All right? That's how simple this is, ladies and gentlemen. So just letting you know. Now, let's get back to the Powell equation. Get back to the equation, because you guys got to understand what's been happening here. So it's a mathematical equation. Let me ask you something. I've talked about this before. So when Jerome Powell and the rest of his cohorts decided to raise the interest rate to 5% despite inflation rising, let's call it what it is. The fact of the matter is, everything is a socialist system in America. So if you don't have enough money in your city to pay for the services, that means you have to raise taxes. If you don't have enough money because a lot of homeowners are cashing in and using their insurance policies, then the insurance companies have to raise their insurance rates. If you are an HOA and you have to repair facilities that are 20, 30 years old, now all of a sudden the insurance that you need to pay that will not cover it. So you're going to have to go to your homeowners to get that extra money. You have school systems that have lunches and balls and sports and books and things like this. They can't keep books forever. There's always an update on something. So therefore, you're going to have to buy a new book or books. For how many students? That's going to cost you more money than it did 6 years ago or 3 years ago. Now, once you understand that scenario, let's talk about the situation at hand. Let's talk about this. Here's what the Federal Reserve has basically done. They raised the interest rates to 5, 5.25, 5.5, whatever you want to call it. Then they sat there. And I told you before why they sat there, and I'm going to reiterate because we have new people watching. They sat there because by doing nothing, the prices keep escalating. First of all, until they don't escalate anymore. So for the last 8 months, they have done nothing. So now I'll put it to you a different way. Let's say inflation went up to 10% to keep this easy. And they didn't raise or reduce interest rates, but they raised it to 5.5. All right. They raised it to 5.5 and said, stop. And it went up to 10%. And so it also went up over the last 6, 7, 8 months, 2%, 3%, 4%. Okay. So you would say, okay, that's very interesting. But see what happens over the length of the 8 months. See, that's the thing. Now they can say from our new starting point of 10%, it only went up 3% from there. It only went up 2% from there. So now at the end of almost another 4 months from now, they're going to claim we done it. Inflation is only 2%. But it's based on they held it for a year. It already went up 10. So we are at 12 to 13%, and they're going to claim we've got it at 2%. It will be true over the course of a year. Now, the real deal is what happens if they raise the interest rate in reality. All of them people that are borrowing money and have adjustable mortgages and interest only adjustables, those millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. You guys might want to start doing math and look how much if you have $100 million loan and it all of a sudden goes up 0.25. It's not a pretty picture. That's millions of dollars. All right. So that is who they are helping. This is who is winning. So if you are an investor, if you're a person that is thinking about getting your businesses, making a lot of money, then this is what the Federal Reserve is doing. They are not looking out for you, the middle class. They are only looking out for the richy rich, wealthy guys. That's it. Because the next hammer that they're going to drop after they did this stall tactic just to make it go up 10, 12, 14%, like I said, and over the last year, they're going to claim, well, it didn't go up hardly anymore. Well, 14% is a lot. 12% is a lot. 10% is a lot. And on top of that, they know what all the insurance companies, everything I talked about is doing. They know everybody's paying more in every fee imaginable. Taxes across the board. Insurance, either have insurance or don't have insurance now, or pay 3 to 5 times more for insurance. Healthcare, that goes up. All this is unsustainable for ordinary citizens, us OCs. Right? That's how simple this is. Now, here's the thing. We have a lot of people who are getting damaged and hurt by all of this. Every time they say we're not going to do anything, that hurts. But here's the worst part of all. The worst part is this. Those of you who are strapped, you have no way to gain enough of the asset classes because you're living paycheck to paycheck 65%. So that is a problem in itself. So now what they are waiting for is to claim it hasn't went up 2%. There's no skin off their back. The stock market has thrived because they know they can borrow money. They can buy their own shares. They know stocks are still going up 30% just on these stock indexes. Think about this. Who wouldn't take 30% on their money while they don't increase the interest rate? When they own 89% of the stock market, you think they're going to care? They're going to sit there and be like, thank you. We'll take 30%. We don't have to do anything. That's crazy. So who are they going to damage? You, the middle class, because next up is the rate decrease. And you're going to say, okay, why is that bad? Why is it bad? Is because the rate decrease triggers you wanting to buy liabilities to get in your own home. But who carries the paper for all of that? And who are making and buying homes as we speak? The VOOs, the banks, equity funds, BlackRock, Blackstones. They're out here buying up thousands of homes, which traditionally would be fine. But there's no competition when they can borrow money to buy the homes. So who is this winning? It's those guys. Again, because when they reduce the interest rate, we have all of you who are going to watch this video running up there trying to say, I want to buy a house. And that means the housing market will boom with price increases. Because now when they reduce the interest rate, and E. White talked about on Monday in Houston, Texas, they started this 3-2-1 buy down. Why would they do that? Pay 3%? Pay 5%, pay 3% for 2 years, 3.5% for 2-3 years. After that, it reverts to whatever you negotiated for. If you paid down to your lower interest rate, if you didn't buy down to a lower interest rate, then you could be paying 7% on the remaining 27 years. But that gets people in because they say, oh, all I have to do is put down 3.5%. I can buy myself something and get in right now and have this low interest rate, but it's only temporary. And so it's a calculated risk. What happens at the end of 3 years? Well, I can tell you what's going to happen, which is a calculated risk, which I would think it's a good risk, quite frankly, because they're going to have to reduce the interest rate sooner or later to help their buddies out. It's that simple. And when they do, that means the house or whatever property you purchased rose significantly. That's what's going to happen. All right. It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very simple. So it's not rocket science. It's just very simple, basic. There is no grand plan. All right. They're not that smart. They can't manipulate the whole system. They've already corrupted it. When you owe 34, 39, 40 trillion dollars in a deficit that they're reporting. Okay, $34 trillion deficit by the United States. But what they're not reporting is how much of those are derivatives. It's in the quadrillions, actually. What do I mean by derivatives? A lot of you already know, but what I mean is this. So I'll use a simple example since we're talking about homes. So I'm a company, BlackRock, Blackstone, whatever. I bought thousands of homes and I bought them for, let's just say, $400,000. Then I turned around and it was in my rental plan. So now I'm letting you rent, paying down my notes. Fine. I carry paper. So remember, I'm carrying paper because I borrowed the money. Interest only at 2 or 3%, whatever. But the point is, I have paper on thousands of homes, all worth $400,000. Is that 40 million? Is that 400 million? I get renters in there and I make the renters pay exactly what the mortgage is, plus a little bit more because you're renting to own. I turn to somebody else, some other fund, and say, here, I have $400 million worth of homes. How would you like to buy this piece of paper? That's the paper worth because they haven't collected it in full. That's the paper. Then somebody says, I don't mind. I'll give you 100 million. I'll give you 150 million. That's how it works. So now they're gone. Bye-bye. The new people, they're going to reap the rewards of the price increase. But it's another equity fund. It's another person that has billions of dollars, trillions, if not. So once again, OCs, this tells you you need to have insurance. Real estate. This is true. But how about businesses? So 3 ways to take advantage. You're going to have to take advantage, ladies and gentlemen, and you're going to have to play the game. When the interest rates do come down, you're going to have to figure out, are you going to buy now or are you going to buy later if you're trying to get money from real estate? If you're trying to do more damage, that means you need multifamily real estate. This is one of the second ways that you can take advantage. Multifamily real estate, because the value of that multifamily real estate is going to increase dramatically. And as well, you know, because you rent. All right. You rent. A lot of people rent. In fact, people under 30, they're destined. They said, hey, in the survey, we think we're just going to rent for the rest of our lives. They are probably right, because the next time I believe it's up to 30 plus states where the average price of a home is $1 million. It's either 28 or 30. I just can't remember the exact number. But this is what we're dealing with right now. All right? This is what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're dealing with. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Paul Castillo. At Paul Castillo, don't pay attention to the red. Just do dollar cost averaging. Very well said. That's what you should be doing. This country has gone many bad times in the past, including wars and pandemic, and it's always come back hard. Yes, and the reason why it comes back hard is because the power of a few that controls what we see on Wall Street, that's a few. 11% is owned by the top 10% of the wealthiest of the stock market. So therefore, they own these corporations. There's only so many. There's less than 5 or 6 companies that own several industries, like food industry, the bottled water industry, just for starters, healthcare, insurance. This is all around a few participants controlling. So again, you have to enter into the top 10 of the wealthiest phase by doing what they do. All right. And Victor Morel is exactly right, because we hold the world currency. So therefore, we're never going to fold up as long as they keep world currency. But Saudi Arabia, Russia, and some African nations and BRICS, they decided to have their own currency. That will be interesting. At Victor Morel from Paul Castillo, thanks for the advice. I just get worried when I see a lot of red on my stock. Paul Castillo, like Victor Morel said, it's natural to worry, but remember, it's long term. Just remember, over the last year, 30%, 40% on some of these index funds. Think about it. People didn't care about the ups and downs. They still were investing, just like right now. You shouldn't, if you believe in your stock, then you should reinvest. All right? That's what you should be doing. Paul Castillo, I hear you. I understand. The worst thing you can do is selling at a loss. Exactly. I made those mistakes when I started investing over 20 years ago, and it took me a long time to recover. That's exactly right. Because again, I talked about this several times in the past. I'm going to use a perfect example, because Tesla is the perfect example. There were people that were buying Tesla at, what was it, 200? Yes, 200 after the split. They bought in hard, right? And so the stock went down to almost 100, 105, 106, 107. We were talking about it at the time. And so what I want to illustrate is I'll use 200 and it dropped to 50%. Let's just say it dropped. Let's just say it did drop to 100. Where the people that were thinking, damn, I should sell, it's at 100. But those who bought at, let's just say 120, they're still saying, damn, I'm down. But they bought at 120. What happened is the stock went back up. So instead of 100, it was about 107, 108. Then it started going back up. And it started going 150. So now when it went back up to 150, all those who sold at 100, they're like, oh my God. And remember, they're at a 50% loss. So therefore, why weren't they buying on the way down to make their dollar cost average less? So they could have, at least if they bought the same amount of shares, got their dollar cost average down to, from 200 to 100, down to 150, right? So now the stock goes up to 150. Everybody who bought from 160 to 149 has a profit. Everybody who sold under those numbers are taking L's. All right. So now one person who bought at 100 says, oh my God, I got 50% return on my money because I bought the stock when it was $100. The other person who bought at 120 and now it's 150, they have a $30 increase. So they're sitting there going, oh my God, I got like a 25% increase. That is the dangers you do when you are investing. You have to think, if you really believe in the company, if that's what your plan is, then you have to do dollar cost averaging, as Victor Morero is saying, and as we have said here, forever. You have to. You don't have to. I'm just saying you should if you believe in the company. Not all companies win, but if that's your strategy, then that's what you should be doing. All right. So one other thing. Here we go with the idea that I just presented. And in fact, here's what actually happened with Tesla. I'll end part of it. It did go back all the way up to 200. So all those people who sold at a loss, they could have recouped all of their money back, could have bought at a lower value to decrease their dollar cost average down to 150. Now, when it went back up to 200, they were like, oh my God, this is great. I get like 20% on my money again. And all I had to do was keep buying. I believed in the company. Now, they went back down again, But the point I'm trying to make is it's all relative. If you would have gotten out at the L of 50%, you probably wouldn't be too happy. You can't take those big L's like that. So if you believe in something, you're going to have to, again, I don't really want to use the word going to have to. All right. Yahweh J, welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live streams where it's members only that can be in the chat room. Everybody else you can watch. And he says his tagline, another investor extraordinaire. Hello, SSN Nation. Hope everyone is doing well. Received notifications, saw the trailer, and smashed the like button. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Everybody else, like Yahweh J has done, please smash that like button. And that's 4 people this evening that has let me know, so I appreciate that. Yahweh J, he also says it's a repeat. I just clicked it twice, I guess. No, it is a repeat. So thank you so much for that. Once again, we do have our own WhatsApp group, ladies and gentlemen. We do have our own WhatsApp. So let me give you the link. Make sure you go over there and sign up. You never know what's going to happen. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. WhatsApp group. This is the SSN Nation and Lifestyle group. Go over here, sign up so you can get some of the latest and greatest information. All right, that'd be greatly appreciated. All right, so let's get it going with a few things else. Now, 3 ways to take advantage. We've talked about 1, 2, and there's always a 3rd way that you can take advantage of this. One of those ways is, and I hate to say it, but I'm going to have to. You have to start looking at alternatives. And these alternatives could be another country. Think about it. Because we have 40 to 50 people here in the SSN Nation that has purchased properties in just Dominican Republic. When we start adding in the other countries, we're around 75 people. So think about that as well, because other countries and America are 2 different things. Just because things are happening here in America, it's your own little bubble. That doesn't mean it's happening elsewhere around the world. So there's several hot spots around the world to make investments. There's several other stock markets that you could actually make investments into. So you have to be astute, you have to study, and you got to pay attention if you're going to be in the business of taking advantage of opportunities. All right? It's that simple. You don't have anything else that you need to do. You get your business started, or buy a business would even be better. So that way you know you have revenues coming in versus a startup. Speaking of a startup, InstaVid AI, Oscar's going to be on. I thought, well, he's busy, but he's going to be on either tomorrow or the next day. InstaVid AI, there has been updates. There has been some new things going on. There is still an investment opportunity into InstaVid AI. To my chagrin, not just we had investors in there, right? I'll call it what it is. It's like investing. It's putting money into a startup, a kind of thing. So friends and family. So the thing is, surprisingly, the goal to be reached is not even anywhere near the goal. I am in shock by this, because this software helps people be able to put out information, updates, news, talk to their people that follow them and on social media almost within minutes. You can make a video right now, 30 seconds, do something else, answer the video yourself, 30 seconds, make the video, post it up on yours, and then tell people, hey, you can actually share this video, or make your own video and I'll respond to it. You have all these options. And I can't believe the investors did not come running as I had thought. I invested. We have a few other people that invested in the Insta Vid AI. But in order to grow, they do the friends and family. And so therefore, you have the Mr. Wonderful deal still on the table. I thought it was over because I didn't really talk about it because I know that there was some companies that wanted to white label the software. So I didn't even talk with Oscar about anything because I was like, well, we got a few companies that wanted to white label, so they're going to pay money. So I figured the friends and family rate was gone. I didn't even talk to him about it. Plus, I've been busy as hell. But the point of the matter is, this is insane that nobody is pretty much investing any significant amount of money in this. So that leaves it up to the SSN Nation members. If you think it's an opportunity, you need to pay attention to the next 24 to 48 hours when I'm going to have these guys on. All right? I'm going to have Oscar OG is coming on to tell us about the latest updates, and you still have an opportunity. Now, here's the thing. The Mr. Wonderful deal, the SSN Nation deal is the same. You put money in, you're first in, first out on any profits. It's that simple. All right? So whatever you put in, any profits that come. Now, needless to say, there's no profits coming because there's no real big-time revenues coming in. We haven't even finished the friends and family rounds, and the software is not completely finished. It's based on monies coming in. So that's the whole point. So even though there's updates, there's progressions, you can actually use it right now. Well, some of you, I can use it right now. So we will see what the hell is going on. You guys will check it out. There's nothing bad going on. It's all good. Eric, did you see the Dominican Republic was the winner of the TripAdvisor 2024 Traveler's Choice Awards? Paul Castillo. Yes, I did. They have more than just that, too, in awards. They have the #1 tourism wellness spot in the world. All right? Just so you guys know. They're in the top 10 because if you watch Dominican Republic Weekly, you will know some of these items. The top 10 of the hottest places of tourism in the world is Dominican Republic. Well, they're in the top 10. All right. So this gives you an idea of what is happening. More airlines, more cruise lines, everything is getting crazy. All right. So that's what we have to talk about. Everything is crazy. So we will see what we can do. We will see what we can do. I have something that I need to handle right now. All right. I'm going to have to talk with a few people. I got to do something. So hold on a second. I need to check some things real fast because there's some things I need to do something real quick. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. While I'm doing this, I need to do something real quick. But yes, I did know about that. Victor Morera, I researched that. There is only a handful of countries more expensive than the USA. Thousands of American expats are living overseas for the cost of living 40, 50, 60% less. We're getting robbed. Yeah. So when I was in the DR, here's the thing. In the DR, you can go to the pharmacy. You can buy pills that are antibiotics, for instance, that you can't get from a doctor in America, but you can go get 1,000 milligrams of something there. Those pills might cost you 25 cents each. So some would say, okay, 20 times 25, fine. That's not that expensive. That's $5. But you control it. You don't have to go down and see a doctor so he can prescribe it to you. They also have health insurance that's less. But here's the thing. some of the things when I go to the store, I'm trying to figure out how certain things in America could cost $1.99 made in America. And yet when I'm on the island, these same things are 50 cents. That sort of pisses me off. An island pays a fourth of what we would pay in America. You look at the package, it still says the same company. It had to have been shipped here. Maybe it's made in the DR, but either way, their prices are lower in certain areas, a lot of areas, because the people there don't make the same amount of money in America, but everybody thinks America is rich. So these are the type of things that are going on. Now, I do have to make a commercial because there is something I need to do. So this is up first, and then we'll come right back. But don't forget to share the video, ladies and gentlemen. This is a great conversation tonight because there's 3 ways to take advantage. And the other one is like Victor Morero just alluded to. It costs less outside of America. And things are done differently outside of America. In fact, I'm going to talk about that. And remember, I was going to talk about watches tonight, but I got sidetracked. Hold on.
Come on, come on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for still hanging with me tonight. You guys know I'm in the lab, and it's a 24-hour session going on right now because we got a serious situation going on, and I need to make sure I get a few things handled. So that's not the issue. So we'll see how this goes. We'll get it all worked out. But nonetheless, we're going to continue this train of thought because, again, OCs are out here working so hard that you don't understand what's happening right underneath your feet. You have no control over it. So you think you may have control, but you don't. That's the part that is the worst. You're sitting there thinking, I've done everything right. So here's Victor Morero getting ready to retire. This is a perfect example. He's retiring. He knows what his monies are coming in right now. He knows how much he has in the coffers. And he's sitting there thinking, well, this is enough money. But he doesn't know what's going to happen 10 years from now. He doesn't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the next 5 years. So this example I'm giving for Victor Morero, because he's retiring soon, is the same example who somebody retired in 2010. And remember, in 2010, I'll give you a perfect example. People moved for retirement because they would have a pension that's like, let's say, $6,000 per month. So they would move to Texas. They would move to Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, because the cost of living was lower dramatically in certain areas. So they thought they would be good to live out their golden years because back then you could retire, I believe, probably the average age was 65, maybe. So here it is 14 years later, right? So now they're like 79, 78, still alive, still healthy, everything's fine. Except there's one huge problem. Everything cost more than double from when they got their place, bought their perfect little cottage, nice picket fence home, whatever you want to call it, thinking we're just good. This is beautiful. There is no way that they could anticipate all of the, if they're an HOA is going to be 3 to 4 times more. There's no way that they can envision in their insurance from that time to this time is probably 5 times to 6 times more. There's no way that they can envision that their property taxes would go up because the housing that people are buying around them is going up dramatically. And there's shortfalls with the governments and cities and states. So therefore, they have to tax you. Then there's no accounting for raising the sales tax. So before you know it, that 6,000-7,000 coming in, you're like, what do you mean I'm going to pay $8,000 a year for insurance on my home now? I own this free and clear. What's the problem? Oh, we're mandatory. You got to change your roof because your house is older than 12 years or older than 15 years. 75, 100 and some odd $1,000 to change your roof now. And then they're still going to give you a high insurance rate. Does that sound like you're going to win, ladies and gentlemen? Does that sound like you're going to win? No. So they're out here swimming up to here. Some of these people have to go get an extra job. Can you imagine? Just like what's happening now. Victor Marrero is going to retire. Other of you are probably going to retire. The Federal Reserve holding rates are not friends of yours, because the next property increase is going to mean taxes are going up, and they're not just going to be going up $50, $40. All right. They're going to stomp on you. So if you don't have several asset classes in place to constantly generate income, like you're a Rockefeller, you're going to end up having a problem. So you're going to need assets, which real estate would be a very good one. Businesses outside of the U.S., assets of houses outside of the U.S., you need to be in 2 locations. Now, why do I say that? Because Punta Cana Investors Forum, May 13th, 14th, and 15th, tickets on sale at ssnlifestyle.com, where we're talking with lawyers and developers and bankers and trying to get you established in Dominican Republic if that's what you want to do. No credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry. Doesn't that sound good? Because it's pre-construction. Pre-construction means you could put down 10, 15, 20% down payment, and then you make monthly payments at 0% interest until they are going to deliver, usually in 2.5 to 3 years. But they don't deliver in 2.5, 3 years. Just keep that in mind. Maybe they're turn over a new leaf in the next year or so. But the point is, it's supposed to be delivered in the next 2.5, 3 years. 0% interest, and then that could be 40%. You might owe 50%, and now you can have a choice. Either pay full cash, and now credit may come into play because now you're going to have to go out and finance it. But to get in and enjoy the appreciation of the property, it'd be awfully nice if you bought a property for $150,000, and then by the time it's built, it's worth $225,000 or $250,000, which is probably going to be the case in Dominican Republic right now, specifically in Punta Cana, Santo Domingo areas. That specifically could happen, and especially in Bahia Bay and La Romana and Cap Cana and, you know, all these places, Michis and it's Samana, all these places, the property values are going to increase dramatically. So while you're paying for those 2.5 years, you're gaining some equity. Now, here's the thing. The banks over there, they're starting to be like banks in America. They're allowing you to take out more than you owe. So if you bought a property for $150 and it goes up to $250, now they will give you 60% of the $250. You might owe, you put down 50%, you owe $75. 50% of $250 is $125. So you can have a check cut to you for $50,000. That means you get to buy assets. Wash, rinse, repeat. All right? It's that simple. Wash, rinse, repeat. And that's what the big boys do. They take the $50,000, then they go and put down $20,000, $25,000 to buy something else, and then they allow it to appreciate. Yes, you have a loan, so that means you're in business for yourself. You're going to do long-term rentals or short-term rentals. The property values are going up in Punta Cana area. I don't know about the whole rest of the island, but I'm pretty sure it's going up in all the island. The one bedrooms that people bought for $89,000 or $99,000 at Coral Village, they are renting those for $1,250 per month. One bedroom, and it's probably, I can't even say it's 500 square feet. It's probably 500, but it seems to me more like 450 maybe. But I didn't look at the Coral Village. We didn't do a video on that one, so I don't know their specs originally. But let's just say it's 500 square feet. One bath, one bedroom, and a small living room, dining combo type area. Kitchen, washer, dryer. Just like in America, $1,250 and up. Somebody's doing $1,350. So these are the type of things that are happening over there, right? These are the type of things that are happening. So we will see how it all turns out. But you get a leg up, and this could be different places around the world. This could be like St. Martin's hot again. All right. This could be like the proverbial Costa Rica and Belize and Ecuador and Argentina and all these hot spot areas, Thailand, Vietnam. It could be any of those locations. Take advantage while you can, because once prices go up to the stratosphere, you're done. You're through. I'm going to look this up. How many states have $1 million homes on average? Because I'm curious if it was 28 or 30. But either way, that's a lot of states. U.S. homes cost $1 million or more in 550 cities. Crazy. I don't want cities. I want it states. I'm going to pull this up still. Because I want you guys to understand, who would have thought when they retired in 2010, 14 years ago, that all the states, not just California, just not New York, just not some parts of New Jersey, Chicago, LA, but who would have thought 28, 30 states? And now I'll have to go down to cities, but who would have thought cities, ladies and gentlemen, would do this? Who would have thought? That's the crazy part. Who would have thought? Let's go look at this right now. Here it is. $550 million cities or areas where the typical home is worth more than $1 million in February. All right. Naples, Florida boasts the most expensive home for sale in the U.S., which hit the market in February, $295 million. This is crazy. This is getting ridiculous. Okay, here we go. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Number of $1 million cities was 17 in 2000. So remember, I was giving the example of 2010. There was 87 cities with $1 million homes as an average. So in 14 years, this is what's happened on this screen. So you can easily see that if you retire at 65, 67, this is your curve that's going to keep continuing to happen. This is not going to stop, because those that have the hundreds of millions of dollars, they're going to continue to buy up homes because the value is there for appreciation as long as they hold them for 5 to 6 years. They'll buy something for $1.2 million, but in 5 years, it'll be worth $1.9 million or $2 million, depending on if you have that high-end luxury location, right? So that's what we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. So let's see what we can do for you. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you come and join us in the WhatsApp group. And we get a lot of spammers, but I don't really mind that much, but we can erase them. But once again, the WhatsApp group link is in the chat room. Make sure you do that by coming in, joining us. I'll put it in the chat room once again. All right. Let's go. You guys see it. I'm going to keep going because it's only going to get worse. When they reduce the interest rates, what do you think is going to happen? The prices are going to keep rising because people are going to go, well, I can afford that higher price because the interest rate is lower. And they're going to do it just like cars. You would think people would not have $1,000 a month car payments, right? You would think nobody would have a $1,400 car payment unless they had a exotic. But this isn't true anymore. People are buying regular cars and having payments over $1,000 per month. This is crazy. So California has the most $1 million cities with 210. That is 12 more than a year ago and more than the next 5 runner-up states. New York, New Jersey, Florida, Massachusetts, Colorado. And look at this list, Florida. Who would have thought that this would have occurred in Florida? The place that has no state tax, the place that was family oriented because of Disney, the place that generally has so much swampland and alligators. You would think, how would you get homes over $1 million when it is not safe to swim in lakes or streams? I mean, this is crazy. But nonetheless, the seller is sensitive to interest rate as buyers. This is what's going to happen when the rates come down. But I just had to show you this because this is outrageous. California, Florida, and Texas. Look at this. Active listings per month. Incredible. The blue, California is the lowest. Dark blue is Texas. And then Florida, yeah, everybody's saying a sayonara. You can't blame them because a lot of these places have HOAs. And these HOAs are older. They're 30, 40, 50 years old, and they are underfunded. And Florida created some new laws that you had to improve your properties because of that collapse in Miami and Sunny Isles and another collapse also. So they've changed the rules on what you have to do. You can't do this 10%, 20, 30% reserve stuff anymore and a few other things. So naturally, I would expect Florida to be high, because insurance is damn near impossible to get without having to jump through hoops. Now they're making some people get flood insurance where you're not even in a flood zone. It's never flooded at all. You live on the 20th floor in a tower, and they're saying you need to carry flood insurance. It's crazy stuff happening. This isn't just going to be there. It's all over. California, Arizona, New Jersey. And in fact, thanks to Brian P., Mr. Dividend, here's something I have to show you too. This is very interesting. This happened in New Jersey. See, this is what I was telling you guys about last Monday. Protect your assets. Look at this. And in New Jersey, homeowners insurance company asked for 93% rate hikes. See the increases companies are seeking. Look at this disgusting, and look what they got. Under state law, property and casualty insurers are permitted to file requests with the department to amend their rates or rating systems, Thomas says. Exactly, in New Jersey. They can amend it. Look at this. Clear Blue Insurance asked for 93.9%. They got approved 20%. This is not insignificant. Did anybody get a 20% raise? Come on. Palisades, P&C Insurance, they asked for 34%, got 14. Look at this. 20. These guys are getting 18, 14, 25%. Anybody get these type of raises? And never mind what they did last year. Who's getting these type of raises? This is coming out of your pockets. Or you may not have insurance at all, and then if some catastrophic happens, you're not going to have even your house or wherever you live. This is insane. And this is on top of, we're going to insure you with some provisions. They're going to have the same thing. So this is what we're talking about here. Look at this. Pending homeowners insurance rate hike request. MIC General Insurance 36. Okay, they're not going to get it, but they're still going to probably raise up at least, what did we see? The lowest amount was 5%. Yeah, I think the lowest was 5%. So look at these guys asking 16, getting 14, asking 25, getting 14. This guy asked for 25, but only gets 5. But that's the lowest one. So you're going to probably be higher than 5 because the averages seems to be almost 10%. And if you throw the top ones in, then the average is a lot higher, right? So this is what we're dealing with out here. And you guys are out here sleepwalking. It's not a good thing. All right? Not a good thing at all. So again, this is why I'm having this conversation. The Federal Reserve holding rates is not good for you as ordinary citizen. It's good for the rich because they hold a lot of assets, and they hold a lot of assets that they have loans against with banks, with other equity firms, and they're being charged a higher rate. So just think about that. All right, here we go. Curtis Davis is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream with that icon next to his name. And he says this, his tagline. Let's see. I can see it. I saw it. But all I know is it better involve ABMM. Always be making money. Right? That's what it better involve. I can't read it anymore. I've clicked on it. We have wait. It looks like, uh-oh, we're about to get terminated. We're about to get terminated. Uh-oh. Here we go. Curtis Davis says, wow, $1 million homes, upward curve on appreciation. Exactly. And like I always say, if you're going to buy a home, I mean, I'm going to say it, but you can't afford it. You can't afford it. You always want to buy a home in a better neighborhood, a little more luxury, upscale if possible, because those homes are the ones that appreciate the most. Because yes, the rich or the wealthy can afford it. They'll pay for it. But that's what happens in a better neighborhood, better home build. All that comes into play. Custom, semi-custom in a great neighborhood is what you want. If you have to pay a little more, so be it. Because I'm going to tell you, my favorite house inside Serrano, where I used to live, they were just building before we moved. Inside the gates where the golf course is, on the golf course, by the way, it was $900,000. I can't remember what hole it is, but it was right there, the hole, like, let's say 12. It was right by there. And I looked it up just a few weeks back. That house, somebody's selling the house for 2.1. That's the asking price. From 990, somewhere like that, let's call it $1 million, to 2.1 in less than 6 years. That's $1 million. The person that cashes out with that profit of $1 million can now go do a lot of things. A lot. That's an advantage. And the person that bought it in the first place was already pretty well to do, more than likely, since they could afford it. So therefore, their winning continues. And they're going to go buy another asset, clearly, right? So this is what we're talking about here. And Curtis Davis, I must have missed you, or did I? Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And in this YouTube street here in the SSN Nation, he's known as Mr. Financial, ladies and gentlemen, because he gives up news, information, and updates. But not here in the SSN Nation, but on his own channel, Chili Davis, Chilly. So go show some love for Chili Davis, all right? And check out his channel. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe, like, and click the bell, notifications, and all of that. Because whenever it comes to us telling people about great news on how they can improve their financial lives, for whatever reason, some of us are blocked. Probably because we have a different perspective on what we tell you, so you understand what's going on. So therefore, they don't want everybody to know, because then you'll be able to take advantage. Because you know the Federal Reserve has to decrease the interest rates. You know they can't keep it at this. All right? Because what's eventually going to happen, I'll say it again, People are living paycheck to paycheck. You're going to have more people living paycheck to paycheck. Those are your customers. If you're the wealthy business owners and the corporations, your customers are living paycheck to paycheck, which means they can't buy your goods and services. So it does them no good to eventually hoard, which is where they're going. But that also means there's going to be some bank closings. That also means there's going to be some store closings, because they're going to have their bottom line is going to shrink. Less people are going to come in and buy something. More people are going to be out there trying to steal something. So stores are almost going to be obsolete if they keep going. And unfortunately, they're not going to stop. It's going to keep going. More and more people are going to be living paycheck to paycheck or no paycheck. And once you have 50, 60, 70 million people, no paychecks, and they have to survive, you're going to have a situation where people all over the United States and around the world are going to have issues. So once again, another reason to make sure you live in a safe environment. All right. Just make sure you stay in a safe environment. All right. Hello, SSN Nation. Once again, let's see. Here we go. These insurance companies are losing their minds, but as long as we continue to pay, they don't care. It's called demand. They got us good. Victor Marrero, he calls it demand. I don't call it demand. It never was demand. It was always mandatory, and it was always because of the way the system is. It's not demand. So what they're doing in Florida, California, and around the nation, they're basically creating the demand because they're taking out high-risk individuals. So once they take out the high-risk individuals, that's another person that is not going to pay into the insurance pool. So that means whoever stays in the insurance pool, their insurance rates are going to start rising proportionately, substantially. So there's not real demand. It's just that ultimately you have a choice. Are you going to insure your home or not? And are you going to insure your home for $9,000 per year? Are you going to put on a new roof because your house is 15 years or 12 years or older? Are you going to buy that flood insurance? Or you're not going to have insurance because you didn't buy the flood insurance. So therefore, we're not going to insure your place. I mean, all of this is going on. They have created the demand because they are getting rid of people. So imagine you having 1 million customers, and then the next day they only have 600,000. Those 400,000 people are calling up other insurance companies. And the worst part is they're calling up BC companies, not the top dog. So that means your insurance rate is going to be higher because there's only 2 or 3 insurance companies worthwhile left in certain states. They just backed out altogether. So the demand is based on we need people to be insured, or they want to be insured, but now they have to jump through hoops. They can't get insured. So now what happens? What happens? OCs, you're going to be in a worse position because you're not the wealthy one. So if anything happens, like what happened in Fort Myers area, where people had their whole homes wiped out and they couldn't afford the insurance. So now their homes are worth $400,000 or $500,000, but they're gone and they can't build. They can't rebuild. That's where we're at. It's not just happening in Florida, but Florida has hurricanes and things like that. So things happen a lot. But as long as we continue to pay, they don't care. It's all called demand. They're creating the demand. They're creating the situation. It's almost similar to, I hate to say it, but it is. It's similar to when Obamacare, as they call it, which was the Affordable Care Act, came out. It's the same rules. It's the same thing they're doing with insurance now to increase the rate. So what happened is you had states that were supposed to carry what you would call exchanges. You were supposed to be able to be insured. Well, what happened? You had certain states going, we don't care about none of that. We don't want people to have insurance. We don't want them to be covered. So we're going to take the exchanges out. We're not even going to be involved. So that created a situation where you had less people paying for their premiums. Therefore, the premiums have to go up. It's the same thing. There's no difference, except in the case of the healthcare situation, you benefit by having it because everybody being insured means the cost of your healthcare goes down. Just like if everybody could have house insurance, car insurance, then more people are paying into it, so the insurance would go down. The same thing. But when you start removing people, that means your insurance rates go up. It's that simple. This is not rocket science. So you have to think, who's on your side? What's going on? It's crazy out here. ABMM, always be making money. Exactly. Always be making money. Nvidia, Tesla, Amazon. Yeah, the big boys. And I hear Tesla is on the move again. I hear who's getting probably a new factory or land or something. There's a new company, I forget. Insurance and banks and billionaires are conspiring against average Joe Americans. Exactly. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. It's been happening ever since 1970 when Tricky Dick, the president, took us off the gold standard and Congress voted for it. So that way they can print money recklessly and without any problems. Printing more money means inflation. It's that simple. They know that, but they don't care. That's how you wipe out the middle class and the average Joes. So all they're doing is printing money for the rich. So when they're saying bonds, so you can build stadiums, bonds, so we can bring Amazon to the city, bonds, so you can bring Tesla, bonds, so you can bring Microsoft, all that, so we can give them free land and all that. Who's paying that stuff? You are. You're paying their way to take no risk. Whereas you go open up a business, you take all the risk. Nobody's saying, hey, you know what? Why don't you guys sell $100 million worth of bonds so you can give me free land and no taxes for 20 years? Come on. We promise we're going to have 5,000 people hired one of these days. Starting off, though, we're only going to hire about 800 to 1,000. But long as we guarantee on writing that we're going to get up to 5,000 employees, you guys are going to do that for us, right? We're bringing tax revenue in here. And then we have OCs, we have citizens going, yeah, they should get that money. We should be paying for them because they give us jobs. And I'm just like, ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking that way, you should be asking the number one question. Number one, how much are these jobs paying? Number two, when are you going to get to 5,000 again? Because we know all companies that do this, they don't reach their stated goal, but yet our taxpayers are paying. Those are the first two questions you might want to know, because they're under no obligation to do it anytime soon. They're under no obligation to pay livable wages. They're under no obligation to do jack crap nothing, but yet you're going to be holding the bag for $100 million, paying their taxes when they're producing. I'll use Tesla in this example. While they're producing hundreds of thousands of cars in your backyard, selling them around the world, and they don't have to pay taxes. And you're going to pay their taxes. That's why they gave the bond. And you think that's good. Well, it's not good. They're not helping you out. What helps you out is when they moved to your city, they bought the land, paid the taxes, built the project, their buildings, paid the suppliers here in that city or surrounding areas the millions of dollars to produce this thing. That would have been mom and pop businesses getting money. That would have been other businesses, restaurants. That would be everybody's eating because they're in the facilities. They're in the restaurants. They're in the hotels. They're having to buy trucks. They're having to buy supplies. from the local area. And they have to do jobs. Now those jobs, people pay taxes. When they sell their trucks and cars, they pay taxes. And when they pay taxes for their facility that they built for $200 million, then they can pay their own taxes for that $200 million facility. Where would those taxes go? Your school, your firemen, your policemen, hospitals. See, ladies and gentlemen, and you're foregoing all of that because you believe we're going to let these guys get in for free, give them all this free land, pay their taxes for 20 years, but they're making hundreds of millions of dollars, giving their CEOs 10 million, 20 million, 50 million. Elon Musk is trying to get a $50 billion stipend for this year. 50 billion. This is insane. Insane. He's probably get 30, might get 20. But that is insane. And you guys help do it because they have deals in Texas. They had a deal in California. California gave them tax cut, tax breaks, stay here for 20 years, 15 years, produce cars. They up and left. So all that taxes and free taxes, free lands, and all that deal they made. So what? Guess who's holding the bag, paying their fair share? You are. All you guys that live in Cali. All right? That's how it is. We are paying. They're gone, by the way. They're not bringing in the jobs. They're gone. So that revenue that was going to come from the taxes on the people, not on the corporation, on the people, is not here. So who's going to pay the corporation share plus the lack of taxes because the jobs are gone? You are. See how this works? And you wonder how the wealthy get wealthier? That's how. They own corporations. They own businesses. They get subsidies. You're paying the subsidies too, by the way. I think it's the bar has gotten too high for OCs to participate in economic systems or marketplace. Only in America. Only in America, not the rest of the world. So the same thing, look, you can go take over another country. They don't have the same systems as in America, but other countries, you can do things at a lower cost. So that's why you need your passive income. Mr. and Mrs. Cool, Laverne Penix, they make passive income from business ventures and real estate rentals. So they can be anywhere on the planet. That's cost effective. They don't have to sit here and deal with the cost of living increases that are happening. In fact, nobody really does. You can go work in another country. It's just you're going to have to deal with visas. You're going to have to deal with not only visas, but more than that. So you can only stay 90 days generally. So either you have options. How about another passport from a different country? I'm just saying. How about you invest in another country and get an investment residency because you invested or started a business? How about that? All y'all coming to the Punta Cana Investors Forum May 13th, 14th, and 15th. Get your tickets now. You go to ssnlifestyle.com. You can talk to Glennie Hatchie Cuevas and find out about residency from an immigration lawyer. If that ain't good enough for you, we'll be seeing Johan at 1:30 p.m. on May 13th. We'll see Glennie Hatchie Cuevas at 11. We'll see Johan at 1:30. They both do immigration, so they're going to have the same answer if you ask. But, hey, you have a second opinion. Maybe hire one of these attorneys that we go see. I will say that because they're my attorneys. That's right. I have both. They're both my attorneys. And that's why we get the love, because they're like, okay, we'll talk to the crew that's coming. So you guys are going to get free information. You ask the questions. They're not going to give a speech. It's a Q&A. Pretty much it for amount of time they have. And so we're going to be at Glennie Hatchie Cuevas at 11 a.m. Then we're going to head over to Johan's at around 115, 120, because he's right up the street, Punta Cana Village, nearly less than 100 yards away, probably. So we'll be there at 1:30, and then I don't know how much time he has available because, you know, these guys are the hottest people on the planet over there, top dogs. So once again, you'll get answers. There's an investment in DR. Yes, most countries have an investment visa. In fact, everybody talks about the rest of the world for United States. How many of you know that if I'll use China because people have this thing about China. A Chinese citizen can do a $500,000 investment in a Kushner, New Jersey tower. You heard me correctly. Kushner, New Jersey, and guess who else is partners in it? 500,000, and they get citizenship in the United States. Okay? I'm just saying. Just Google it. I'm not even going to get into it. But that's the point. You can do similar things in other countries. All right? It's not like you just are restricted. You're only restricted by information you don't know. There's some countries that's giving away free citizenship for doing certain things. Affordable means unaffordable because some states like Alabama refuse to participate. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm referring to. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. They gave $50K per job, but got $100K per person on return in the billions. Exactly. Billions. Exactly. That's exactly right. That's why the schools do not teach real math or applied economics. So you're fooled by words like bonds or tax credit or CHIP Act or exactly. That's exactly right, Curtis Davis. Now, Curtis Davis, of course, he's Mr. Financial. So he recognizes some of the telltale signs. These are the little buzzwords they're using. So the ordinary citizen goes, oh, that sounds real good. Right on. That sounds great. We should want to do some of this. You know, tax credits, bonds, tax breaks. What could happen? You're getting wiped out is what's going to happen. You're already wiped out. 65% of the population living paycheck to paycheck. Never mind the number of people who are not even in the system at this point and are homeless. People are like, what are you going to do with the homeless? Well, you tell me, what are you going to do with the homeless? I want to know. Because the Federal Reserve doesn't give a rat's ass about the homeless. All you hear them talk about is, oh, well, we got somehow they don't even have employee. They don't even make business. And they're trying to take credit of some sort about we have a lower unemployment rate. I'm like, no thanks to you. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't get this. Since when did they put in jobs somewhere? I'm like, this is insane. They're making it seem like they have something to do with jobs, which they have zero to do with jobs. It's insane. And so people are believing that the Federal Reserve's like looking out for you. They're not. You're thinking the government's looking out for you. You have a Social Security card. Let's get real. If you're in America, it doesn't matter what country you're in. You have a tax ID number. You have a Social Security card. It's that simple. So that's what's going on around here. You are a subsidiary of your country. Every time, look, first of all, there's some countries that you're taxed 28, 29, 30%. It's not a progressive tax like in the United States. It's serious. So imagine you already gone 25% of your money, 30% of your money's gone. I've told the story several times. My friend from Sweden, we're in Aruba at the Aruba Poker Classic. He finishes second or third. I can't remember. All I remember is that he won like $250,000, I think it was. Season 2 or 1 or 3 of the World Poker Tour. And he gets a call from the freaking government while he's in Aruba. You know you got to send half. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. And you guys think the Social Security number is major. No, you're money to them. It's worth a value. That's why everybody gets a social security number. All right. Or a tax ID number, whatever you want to call them. All right. So this is serious. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to keep going on and on about it. But Federal Reserve holding rates is for a reason, in case you just now joined us. This is so, inflation went up between 2017 to 20, even now, 2024. And the fact of the matter is, if you say 2017 and then you go to 2023 and you say inflation or price increases went up to 35, 40%, you'd probably be right. I don't know what the number is, but let's just say it's 40%. Then at the end of 2023, they say we're not going to increase or decrease the federal funds rate because we've raised it up to 5%. Again, it already went up 30%, 40%. So the fact that they raised it up to 5 percentage points and then it decreased the inflation rate down because it was hovering at 10, 8, 7. Then all of a sudden it drops because it went up 5%, 5.2, 5.5, whatever the case may be. So of course it slowed down because you increased everything in prices. So then they're going to take credit for not doing anything for like 9 months. Well, so far it's 9 months. So it's going to end up being 12 months. Then at the end of the 12 months or the next 3 months, they're going to go, see, we told you, yeah, it went up another 3 or 4%, but never mind the other 40. So now we're paying 43% more. And then they're going to go, over the last year, it only went up 2.2% to 3%. We're good. Let's start cutting interest rates. And you're going to lose if you don't have assets. So hopefully people understand this. I've been preaching this for a long time. These guys are no joke. They're very smart. They know what they're doing. They're manipulating the system. And they've learned it for the last 100 years almost, since the crash of 1930s. So they've had 90 years of perfecting it. They've had few recessions along the way. The Great Recession occurred. So there's been the 1970s, the decade of inflation. But this has been perfected. And it only perfected for the wipeout of the middle class. So when you think a homeless person is sitting there, they're only homeless. Why? Maybe they were living paycheck to paycheck. And then Elon Musk sent them an email and said, you're fired. And in a short month or 2 or 3 or 4, they have nowhere to go. And now getting back into the workforce, living on the streets is damn near impossible. Because why? We don't have enough support areas. You're not going to have enough places that can house 2, 3, 4, 500 people that can live there for free. And you got to feed them. They have to use facilities. They have to wash clothes. That has to be dealt with in America, but it's never going to be dealt with properly. So the question sooner or later is going to be, well, how far does there a decline have to be in the ordinary citizens, the OC's life, before something else happens? All right. That's the seriousness of this. So we will see what we can do. All right. We can only talk about it. We can only talk about it at the moment. So we will see how it goes. So I'm going to have to break up and do some other things right now. But if anybody has anything to say, please put it down here in the chat room. I love you guys very much. But the other thing is, if you can't get in the chat room tonight, there's a reason. It's because the Wednesday night live stream is only open to members with the icon like this. E White 2024 SSN Family Takeover. Exactly. Good evening, everyone. E White, welcome to the SSN Nation. Wealthy Wednesday night live stream with the icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. And E White is another superstar investor, ladies and gentlemen. You should have been here on Monday when he presented this duplex, the 321 buy down, because a lot of people has never heard of it. And so we started delving into some of the pros and cons. And because he may be, and I think he took advantage of the 3-2-1 buy down, he is also going to be able to take advantage when the Federal Reserve, after about another 3 months, start thinking it's time to cut rates. That property that he bought right now is going to increase in value to who knows what. So even after his 3-2-1 in 3 years, he's going to be able to sell that and make a nice substantial profit. He doesn't have to worry about the interest rate rising up to 5% or 6%, because that's where it would go back to after 3 years. So he doesn't have to worry about that because he's going to sell. The Federal Reserve is not going to keep holding rates forever. Like I said, after they justify, well, after a year, it only went up 2%, 2.5. It's good. We can cut the rates. That's all they're doing. They're just waiting when they should have cut the rates a long time. Increased the rate a long time ago. All right. The Fed raises interest rates when the economy starts overheating. Too much inflation, and cuts rates when the economy looks weak. High unemployment. Yeah. And again, White, they don't employ nobody. They have nothing to do with employing anyone. That's why it's a fallacy, but they call it, they talk about that like it's a thing they control. They don't control anything. All they do, increase interest rates, decrease interest rates, and figure out how to give loans or facilitate loans to the wealthy. That's basically what they do. All right. And they're not even federal. This is so disgusting. It's ridiculous. You got these rich guys that created the Federal Reserve in the 1917 or 1918, somewhere in there, so they can loan America money. It's crazy. And so they have this establishment. And I'm beginning to think one of the people that formed it has to be Rockefeller, right? It has to be. Because they have this plan, this master thing that people say, well, how do they have generation after generation become wealthy? And they never have to worry about losing their money. That means they're not investing in the stock market. That means they're not investing in real estate either. Because sure, you're going to win in real estate in the long term, but the amount of people being born into the family, how is everybody being able to be sustainable? The $1 million question. There are books out there that tells you, I've never read the book, but it's fascinating. The Carnegies, the richest families in the world at one point. The Vanderbilts, the richest families in the world at one point. Sayonara, because after 1 or 2 generations, all of their money was gone. So think about that when you're out here playing around with liabilities. The time for playing with liabilities is over, ladies and gentlemen. It's that simple. It's over. It's really, really over. So we're going to get down to the business at hand, and we're going to do a few other things. So hopefully you guys will join me in the SSN Nation 2024 takeover in the Dominican Republic. And May 13th, 14th, and 15th is the SSN Lifestyle Puna Cana Investors Forum. 3 days. 3 days we're going to be going around. We're going to find out how this all is going to shake out. But we know what we're going to be doing. You want to open a bank account? Then I suggest you get into the WhatsApp forum, because I dropped today Scotiabank's requirements to open up a bank account. Then after that, make sure you have it, because I will be dropping Grecia's number later this week in the chat room. Grecia is an executive assistant that works with Johan. What she does is when we arrive, she will have a bank already set up that already has you approved. And all you have to do is come in with your $500 if you want a USD account, and $50 to $100, just call it $100 if you want to open up a peso account minimum. You can go more, but you can't go less. Then you'll have a bank account in the DR. That's a step towards a lot of things, right? You'll be able to use that bank possibly for financing later if you need to. You can use that bank for many other things because they have loan products now that's starting to blossom because of all the money coming in. So that's something that's major, because otherwise, I'll give you an example of what happens. So I could have called up aggressive and did what I just told you. But I wanted to find out for myself if I didn't use them, what would happen. Banco del Horo, de Horo. I went December 13th or 14th to Bank de Horo. I already knew they needed 5 or 6 months worth of bank statements, tax statements, the authorization from my LLC, because I'm, I don't have the W-2s. So I had to, bring in all the documentations, right? So I fill out all the paperwork, sign everything. It wasn't until around January 12th, almost a month later, I get an email saying, congratulations, you have a peso account. And I'm like, where's my USD account? Also. So I had my peso account, no USD account. It took them another week to 2 weeks to add my USD account. And it's worse. I filled out all the paperwork, and I was there, early December? I also went back. I can't remember at this time. I think it was I don't remember the dates, but I think it was somewhere in January. No, I can't remember the times exactly. I've been all over, but the point I'm trying to make is I had to go back and sign some more papers, because all the freaking 10 to 15 to 20, 30 papers I signed, apparently I missed one. You know what the one was? Unbelievably, a W-9. I was like, what is this? It's Banco de Haro. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I don't even go in the place, really. But I just went there right now because I don't have a card. That's another thing. You'd normally get a debit card. And on site at that branch, they don't have where you get a debit card instantly. They told me right now that they just mailed it like last week, because I didn't go to the bank to pick it up. Now, I probably could have picked it up when I was there in January, early February. I was in Cali. So when I went earlier in April, I could have picked it up. They just mailed it 2 weeks before, she said. So I guess it was there the whole time, my debit card. So now it's going to be mailed to Cali. So crazy stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So we will see what happens and how it goes. But I'm just letting you know, we have perks. You have benefits. And you have a team. You have people here that also are investing in those same areas. Not everybody invests in DR. Not everybody invests in St. Martin's. Not everybody invests in Thailand and Vietnam and Costa Rica, Belize. Mexico, a friend of mine right now is in Mexico talking about investing in Mexico. Wherever you invest and you feel good about investing, then that's you. Everybody's different. There's nothing wrong with you picking your location. But when it comes to real estate, it's undeniable that it does rise. But at the same time, the billionaires and millionaires, it's not even in the top 5. Real estate purchase is not in the top 5 for the wealthiest as far as their wealth. What is? Finance, anything to do with money. So that's the stocks, the bonds, the businesses. That's what they own. The top 5. It's not real estate. It's number 7 on the list, by the way, for the wealthiest. So most people are what we always talk about here: stocks, bonds, which is not much, but we don't talk about bonds too much. But starting or buying businesses, that's where it is. The reason why businesses are important is because when you decide to monetize your business, when you say, I want to sell shares and go that whole route, now you have a valuation on your company, and generally you hold millions of shares. So then if a stock goes to $10 and you have millions of shares, hundreds of millions of shares, now you're worth over $1 billion. And you can borrow against that $1 billion. Somebody, you can now go down and say, can I get $20 million? I want to buy this yacht. Can I get $20 million? I want to buy the baddest home in South Florida or something. This is what happens. And so they own businesses. You can buy more businesses. You can do all these things, but it's all paper generated. And that paper generation also increases inflation because it's out of thin air. All right. I'm hoping I'm getting through to you guys to understand this is dire. Third world country, but you don't know it yet. It's dire. All right. So, all right. We're going to have to wrap this up. What I'll do is make sure I play one more. Here we go.
Come on, come on.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad this video played because we have one more advantage that you can take. Art. Art has appreciation that's unbelievable. Now, good art, trackable art, tagged authenticate art that has its provenance, not from some new guy that just showed up. All right. You actually have it tracked, authenticated when you want to buy it, but you get some art pieces that are up there in a certain level. And then the next thing you know, we're talking about watches. I forgot about the watches. I'm going to go get some, by the way, because we were talking about watches on Monday, and I told people I was going to bring the wife's watches. So I guess we're not going to end this. I'll play another little infomercial, so to speak, and then I'll come back and I'll bring up two of hers, and I'll show you. We were talking about why I hate Invicta watches, because I had my purple one on, and people were like, "What's that?" And then I showed it. It's pretty sweet, actually. Everywhere I went in the DR, people were like, "Hey, that's cool." But then I said, well, it's guys, but I'll show women's too, even though all the guys are here tonight. But nonetheless, I lost my train of thought now that I was thinking about that. But yeah, now I can't remember what we were talking about. Oh, art. So the upscale on art. Here we go. Eric, what's the benefits in opening both pesos and dollar accounts? Well, basically, so you will be able to transact on the island. If you want to put in pesos, then you can do transactions on the island and pay in pesos. So you never have to worry about what the conversion rate is, because you're going to bleed you might bleed 1% when you use dollars, because let's face it. So the thing, I've been making some payments for the USD, and so it's a roundabout number, right? So sometimes you'll say like 7,239.29 pesos. So what are you going to do? You're going to pay a little extra, right? $1 here, $2 there extra. And then you're going to have to pay an exchange sometimes too. So you might it cost me another $2 or $3 from the bank, versus if it pays with pesos, then you don't have a conversion on the island generally. So that's the only thing. It just makes things a little easier if you want to use. You can open one or the other, but why not open both? That way you're ready. All right. Because I'll use a perfect example. Scotia Bank. You can transfer money, something I love. You can transfer money to people that have another bank account on the island using your bank. You don't need Zelle. You don't need nothing special. You just need their banking info and hit the transfer the amount. So that makes it pretty cool. So that's why having a peso account saves you, because they charge a higher fee on the USD account. So you're going to pay a little tax on what you send. There's a fee on what you send. It could be 25 cents or 10 cents or 1 cent. It doesn't matter, but they have fees. So it makes it easier that way. Cheaper if you want to just use peso. All right. All right. Brian P is here. Mr. Dividend has arrived. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream with the icon next to his name naturally. Thank you so much for being here. I humbly appreciate it. And he says, hello, Eric. I hope all is well with you. Hey, man, it is kind of well. We'll find out later, but we'll see how well it is. And we'll know shortly. All right. Brian P says, hello, SSN family. That's right. Mr. Dividend, welcome once again. Very nice to see you. Now, we were just talking about Monday when I had the purple watch on, by this company people despise, Invicta. Why? I don't know. They make 3,000 different types of watches on average every year. Some are limited edition. Some are Marvel comics. Some are DC comics. Some are, I don't know, whoever. They have licensing deals. So these are the type of things that, okay, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I can't answer this right now. So anyhow, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to cut this short. Maybe not, but we will see. We will see. So once again, we're gonna find out what's going on and deal with a few factors. So, but I lost my train of thought because I needed to get this phone call, even though it is like what 11 at night. Yeah, 8:06 p.m., 11 p.m. at night. So nonetheless, let me go get what I wanted to show, what I have to bring up here because of the watch situation, the Invicta watches. People don't like. I was going into that 3,000 a year. They have men's, women's, children's. They have NFL, NBA. They had licensing for NFL. I don't remember NBA lately, but hockey. They have different licensing agreements, and then they make watches that are gaudy, big, huge. The baby watches that I never really liked, 38 millimeter, used to all standby for men. Women would have smaller, 38 millimeter, 39 millimeter, 40 millimeter was in Swiss land, way too kind of on the border. Then they finally went up to 44 millimeters and they were like, that's too big. But generally, you know, Rolex size, Tag Heuer size, 38, 39, 40 millimeters. Those are like so small. It's like dainty. That's what it's like to me, dainty, right? So I always wanted these heavy watches, man's watch, right? That's the way I look at it. Some women like oversized watches too. But the fact of the matter is, I always wanted heavier watches. And I told you guys the story. I'll just tell people who've never watched. I went to Switzerland with deals in hand where a Swiss manufacturer were going to make watches for me. But the largest size he had was 44 cases and 45 was the largest. So I was going to have the Swiss movement, the sapphire glass, and date switchback, as I call it. Retrograde is what they call it, which means that's an 80-40. Wow, it was loud. 80-40 in. So that changes the game. So we will see. And like I said, even those for me was okay. I can deal with 44, 45 millimeters. That's cool. But I really even wanted something bigger. And so it just, lo and behold, Invicta showed up. And I was just like, are you kidding me? They make 50, 53, 55. And then when Shaq came along a few years ago, that's right, Shaquille O'Neal, they made 60 millimeters. Now those are outrageous. I don't know who can wear 60, but you have to be very big. 60 is huge. So that's how it all started. And then how it started was because they had Swiss movements Not so much sapphire glass. I don't really care. Here's the thing. Even if you have a high-end watch, yes, they may have sapphire tinted or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, usually a person that has those 25, 50, 75,000 or up watches, they don't even wear them that often. So the odds of you tearing it up is pretty slim. So you're not gonna mess up your crystal, right? So, but if you buy a watch for $100, 150, 200 bucks, 300 bucks, you might wear it more often. So the odds of you hitting something with your crystal is going to happen at a higher rate. But it only costs you 100, 200, 300, 400, 5 or less. Sometimes you can buy more. It all depends. Everybody has their thing. But me personally, I know how they operate. Everybody operates in a sequence. So what happens? Invicta comes out with their newest watch. It could be $1,000. It could be $2,000. Depends on what it is. But generally, they're going to range it at around $699 to $799, $899. Generally, the new watch that comes out, and then 6 months later, that same watch will be down to $499. Then a year later, the watch will be down to $299, $250. So it's just a matter of time. It's like a movie. Why do you go watch a movie when it first comes out? Because you feel good. It just came out. But you know it's a movie and you know it's going to be on Netflix for the rest of your life. But you're still going to show up and pay $15 a ticket and buy $15 bags of popcorn, right? And a $7 drink, a Coke, right? So that's the difference. So again, and these things about, the craftsmanship and the price qualities and going up in price. Again, we're talking about art. Art appreciates more than anything, and it's money laundering. I just have to say it. So these are the type of things that you have to think about. All right. These are the type of things you have to think about. Art is very good for you, OCs. If you can get your hands on some very good pieces of art that's known and you have it authenticated, you have the authenticity on it, and you can track the owners. Because as you know, anonymous owners make it for the worst, because once you go anonymous, you don't really know. So if I know I bought something from John Smith and John Smith bought it from Jane Doe, and Jane Doe bought it from the art gallery, and everybody has the same print, and they are not print, but they have the same marks. You can tell, right? Because they know where the marks are. So now all of a sudden, you know that's the legitimate piece. Now, of course, somebody can always try to make a fake, because when you start getting up there, it's worth it to make fakes if you can get it faked off for $2 million, $3 million, right? Or $100 million or 200,000, that whatever the case may be. So we're going to find out how that all works out. You should check into art too. All right. It's the silent, wealthy appreciation tool. In fact, I should just go here and show you. I'm just putting this in Google. How much has art appreciated? Well, they have it populating each year. So maybe we'll see what Google has to say. Okay, the gap narrows over the past 50 years. The RL Art Index return. Oh, they're talking about the guys who buy art and then they allow you to invest in it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about art prices over the course of the last few years. We're talking 40, 50, 60, 100%. It's significant. You have to go check it out. Grew by, here we go. The global art market grew to $67.8 billion in 2022. It says sales increased by 3%. So we're talking billions in art. And it's just crazy. Sales volume for the market annually for the world is 39 billion. All right. Let me just do this. I'll put it on screen. So then I'll let you guys see some of these numbers so you guys can see what I'm talking about. 39 billion that year. This is crazy. Okay, in 2023, the global art market value was higher than 60 billion US dollars, but declined the previous year, which would have made it the pandemic. Nope, that's not, well, kind of. But this is what we're talking about. Investing in art market, a 1.7 trillion asset class. That's 2021. So now you know it's a 3 trillion probably asset class in 3 or 4 years. That's how fast this appreciates, the good stuff. Once again, there's value in luxury quality items. All right, so there you go. There you go. Prestia, talking about Invicta Watches on their last show. I couldn't help it. I ordered myself one of those. I had to join the club. I can't wait to get it. Oh, man. Paul Castillo then joined the club. Well, welcome to the club, man. Now you're going to have to tell everybody, which one did you get? Don't tell me you got the S1 Rally. And don't tell me you got the purple one. You know nobody likes the purple one. Everybody likes the white one that has this nice copper design to it. It's totally different inside, but it's sweet. Everybody likes the other ones. Usually people don't like the purple. That's why I kind of got it too. Nobody wants that one. Until you see it in person, it's off the charts. So I'm going to make a longer commercial this time. Let me go grab 2 watches for the wife. I'll grab a mystery box from my side and see what it is. All right. And we'll talk about that because there's no value though. Well, it all depends on what we're talking. There's whenever you get limited editions, there could be values, but I strive for something different that nobody has. And it's a limited edition to boot. We both win, right? I'm not reselling them though. That's the point, because you can wear these every day. But unfortunately, I get addicted a little bit because if you go to you can't buy an Invicta watch directly from Invicta. You have to go to those Invicta stores that are in malls, that are on cruise ships, that's in even Las Vegas casinos have them, and they charge you an arm and a leg. Even Walmart has some, Costco has some, but they vary. They make so many different models in all type of price ranges from like $15, $20, these new digitals they're making that make them like G-Shocks. And they go up from there. So it's not really a value. You're not going to make money from these, but you're not going to, if you buy something for $100, $200, $300, $500. I mean, if you sell it for 200, 300 less, and you've been wearing it for like 2, 3, 4 years, and even though they make that many watches, they make variations of the watches. So what ends up happening is people can't get that watch after 2 years or 3 years go by. That variant, they'll never make that color scheme again. You can get that similar same watch and everything, but it'll be a different color scheme later. Or they added a different band, or they do different things. So you walking around and people will say, I've never seen that before, because they only did it for like 1 or 2 years, and then they're making a new type of version of it. So I have one watch of theirs that I want to get, and I'll never be able to get it. It's called a Kula, and it's gold, and it had a blue interior on the dial, and it's Swiss movement, and it's more like I don't know what to really call it. There's a watch. What's the famous brand that comes? God, I can't remember all the watch brands, but nonetheless, there's a watch brand that had the crystal. It's like it has a foundation to it. They put the crystal on top, except it's like a rectangle. So it's squared at the bottom, and it is squared on your bracelet. And it was sweet. I've never seen one in person, only in posters. That's the thing, only in posters. And I was like, where is this? And I've never seen anybody with one. People have them, but not that particular one. And it came out like now, probably 6, 7 years ago. So they've never remade it. but they have something called an Akula, and it's ugly as hell. I don't like it. But nonetheless, let's go get some of this. Let's go 3 Invictus. I'll go get 2 for the wife, and I'll bring a mystery one. I'll grab a box, and I don't even know what's in the box. All right. So what I'll do is this. I will. Let me see here. I'll do this one. It's the Vista Cana Sports Complex rendering video. So we'll check this out. And then hopefully Paul Castillo will drop a dime and let us know which one he got. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're back in Invicta Watches tonight. Okay, Paul Castillo, are you going to tell us which watch you bought? And here's the dirty little secret, invictastores.com. And if you go there, I warn you, you're gonna probably buy a watch if you're not into the Rolex, the Hublots, the Richard Mille, the whatever, Breitlings and Hauer and all these other guys, the Muellers, there's so many, it's ridiculous. So many brands. So Paul Castillo, I don't know where you bought yours, but you should be getting them at Invicta stores because they have special deals like right now, right before summer, they have special deals. Now, the special deals, they usually come out Wednesday, Thursday. The greatest deals of all, 60, 70% off those prices. So, yeah, it gets crazy. And you might see something you like. You probably will if you wear watches or into watches, you'll see something you like. All right, so I haven't heard from him yet. He hasn't told me yet. Copper prices reached a 10,000 per metric ton due to surging demand and supply shortages from Brian P. Okay, Victor Marrero has been here for years. We talked about copper like, this is 2024, like 3, 4 years back, we talked about precious metals 3-4 years back, but not the gold, silver, platinum, palladium. We were talking about copper, nickel, even. We were talking about several different type of metals that are going to be used in this revolution of technology. And so no shock there and no surprise. Supply constraints include increased tightening of mining regulations, geopolitical tensions, and mining labor strikes. Oh yeah, all of it, plus more use of it. I got the 51 Miller gold Invicta Pro diver with the H-slot case for future purchases. I got my eye on other models. I also got one for Mom's Day gift. Oh man, there's nothing better than that, man. But the 51 millimeter Pro diver, damn, that's pretty big. Oh, I know which one you got. I know which one you got. I don't have that one, but I know which one you got. Yes, that is very, very nice. What dial color did you get though? Because they have different dial colors. Oh, then he got a great price. Oh, I won't even tell I won't even say the price, ladies and gentlemen, but it's pretty cool. Did it come already? No, we talked about it 2 days ago, so I don't think it came. It hasn't come yet. But great job on getting Mom's, because the women's watches, some of them are off the charts. So I'm going to present to you, this is a man or a woman's watch. This is what they call a Subaqua Noma, and it's called the Subaqua Noma 1. So without further ado, let me see if you guys can see this. There it is. Aqua Noma 1. That's the case. There we go. Pretty cool, right? The case back, how they did the design on it. Aqua Noma 1. But here's this. Oh, this is, look at this. Abalone dial. How many of you can see how this looks black-ish, but it's really purple? I love this watch. This is 48 millimeters. Yes, guys can wear it. It's for guys. It's got a butterfly clasp as well. But look at the bracelet. Brushed purple. So you can clearly see it's purple. Right? Abalone dial, but that's not all. Because look inside of the dial. Let's see here. Can we see? Some of you will notice there's a date, a day of the week, and you can tell it's a chronograph. Day of the week. Let me see what else it has on here. Day of the week. Yep. Day of the week, chronograph. And some of you do not understand how their chronographs work. You see this hand up top? It doesn't move. The hand in the 3 o'clock position, that's the second hand. All right. So seeing how it's a chronograph, I'll start it moving. So you'll notice now it's moving because I cut the chronograph on. But this is quite spectacular, and it's 48 millimeters. I could probably wear this. Guys normally wear 48s, but look at this. Look at the lugs. I mean, this is, what color is it? I just like how it sheens the purple. It's just, it looks like black. It's kind of cool when the lights aren't on. It looks black when you're just in day. And so that's what I love about this. So that's one. Now, 43 millimeters. This is a Gladiator. Oh yeah, this one's special. Well, they're all special. What can I say? Hold on. I think this is called a purple label, by the way. This is purple label. So they only make a limited number of these. So that means if you can find one, you'll be lucky. So I have another, I believe, limited edition one as well, or maybe not. No, it's not limited edition, but you're not going to find it. You're not going to see this one. Check this out. Speaking of gold, Paul Castillo, but speaking of diamonds, Gladiator, women's Gladiator. This is 43 millimeters. And it has a mother of pearl white dial. And once again, spectacular. Look at this. Chains on the side. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. And it's called Gladiator. So you can see the name Gladiator. Pretty sweet. And what you can't see, though, are the diamonds. Our woman's best friend. These are all diamonds. Yes, they even make diamond watches around the bezel, both sides. Crazy stuff. And let me see inside here. Not inside, but it's mother of pearl white on the inside, so it changes colors a little bit. In the light, you really can't tell, but this is it. And they make a men's watch that's like 53 millimeters. It's crazy. The men's watch in this does cost. It's like 12 to 1400 bucks. I don't have a men's watch. It's against my rules of spending that much. All right. So this is the, well, a man could wear this too, because it's 43 millimeters. So this is a perfect example of, if you wear 38 millimeters, 39s or 40s, this is a 43. So some guys would wear this instead of spending the 12 or 1300 for the other one. Oh, she still has her, she never took off the plastic. That's why this is shining kind of weird. She still has plastic over crystal. All right. So now I have one more for you. And again, this one's spectacular. Like I said, you guys, those are diamonds right here. Diamonds on the bezel. I mean, seriously. How cool is that? This is just insane. And then the chain that comes around, it's insane. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, we got a mystery box somewhere. Here we go. All right. All right, here we go. All right, he got it in Invicta stores. He got the 51 plus the 8-slot dive case. I love that. If you go over there, yeah, you can eat. After you go there, Paul Castillo, you bought that. I know what price it should have been. It's almost like, I know when you were checking out, you're like, I can't wait to see what this looks like, because when you get it, you're going to be like, man, let me go get me something else, especially if we're talking about this quality for that price. So here's the prices. This is a purple label. All right. Limited edition, because they only make so many purple labels. This one was like $170. Okay. This one, though, no way around it. Limited edition. You can't even get a hold of these anymore. That'd be very hard. And so this one was like 300 and something. All right. This one, let's see what we got. Wow, crazy watch. Yeah, crazy is right. Wow, Eric, you have a sweet collection. One day I'll get there. Brian P., if you go to Invicta stores, you can buy like 3 watches for 300 bucks or less, and they'll all be equally cool. I mean, seriously, they have special deals like every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That is crazy, just crazy. Oh my, this is something I've never even worn. Okay, this is the surprise watch. Look at, this is mine. Okay, I've never even worn this watch. That's the thing. I've never even worn this watch. It's not even I haven't even sized it, did I? Okay. This is called the King Cobra. Icy blue. Check this out. Icy blue. Yeah, these things move too. How cool is this? When you move, icy blue, King Cobra. Look at this. Icy blue dial. Do I have it upside down? Yes, I do. Icy blue dial. How sweet is that? Oh, I forgot. You know, I rarely do this. These turn. All right, they all do. They're unidirectional. All right. Most of their watches have unidirectional turns. Just one way, basically. But here you go. It's a Swiss movement. It's called the King Cobra. This is about 54 millimeters. It's pretty big. It looks like I sized it, but I don't think so. We'll have to check it out. Look at this. Look at this. Yes. Cables on the outside. Sweet. On this side, just one. Pretty good. And I still have my plastic cover on mine. So this is very interesting. Oh, it's how can I forget? One of the coolest features. Notice on the side, these here, these are pushers right here. Those are pushers. So see, once again, the second hand is sitting there. You see in the 3 o'clock position, the second hand is moving. That's it. Well, I'm about to hit this pusher. There we go. Hidden pushers. How cool is that? They're actually dark blue, if you can tell. So it's almost like hidden pushers, but icy blue. And I'm going to check this out. I don't think I sized this. Let me check. I don't remember if I've ever worn this. Let me go see. No, I don't think I've worn this. No, I've never worn this. I got to get it sized. By the way, it costs ridiculous amounts of money sometimes to get your watch sized. So once again, they have a watch sizer at Invicta stores, probably right now, that are like $20. You're going to pay, if you start buying these things, you're going to pay about $20 just to have somebody size one for you. People don't, they used to be free, but not anymore in a lot of cases. So anyhow, icy blue, ladies and gentlemen. And it has a Swiss movement. I believe it's a 50, if I'm not mistaken, a 50-30 Swiss movement. And as you can see, let's see, can we see King Python in there? Yeah, I can't. King Python, where is it? There we go, a little bit. King Python. That's what it's called. Icy blue. If you can find one of these, let me know. Oh, by the way, the cost factor. The cost factor. Hold on. This one you're not going to believe. Invicta stores had a special one day, and I got this for $119. Yeah, my watches cost less than the wife's. How funny is that? But no, actually, here's the reason I got the wife hers is because I had to get her anniversary watch. And that's the one she wanted. So that's why I said, well, I guess I'm going to pay more than I would pay for mine. So that's why she has hers. And the purple one, it was her birthday. So it was around her birthday. And I said, all right, what do you think about this? And she goes, oh, that's pretty cool. I said, yeah, it's real cool. So if I start doing this, I have a few here that I can show you. One per day for only like 3 days, 3 or 4 days, maybe more. I can't remember. I got one that's a purple label that you guys will like, that I'll have to show you one of these times. I'll have to show you. Eric, are they all Invicta watches? They look insane. Yes, that's all I wear. That's what she wears. They're all Invicta watches because they make so many different designs that there's something for everybody. And the prices are all like you would think. When first of all, you're going to be walking around and people are going to make comments. The wife's wearing her abalone dial one. She's wearing the gladiator one, and people, because nobody sees these. It's not so much that they're just different. And so when I wear mine, same thing. Like you guys like that purple one that I was wearing, same thing. And then I had that chocolate. I had a chocolate one with the purple band, and same thing with the rose color. People will say, "Hey, that's pretty cool. What is that?" And a lot of people have never heard of Invicta. And then those that have heard of it, they go, "Oh, that's cheap. It's garbage. It's whatever." All I know is, like I said, I've been in Mexico, St. Martin, and all these watches that I showed you, they can go in water, and not just 10 meters. All of these go 100 meters or more. My icy blue can go 660 feet. Crazy, right? 300 meters. That's crazy. I'm not going to do it, but yeah, I've had watches and swimming these big ass watches in the pool, and people would be like, "Hey, you got your watch on, man. You done messed up your watch." I'm like, "Not mine." Maybe your watch, not mine, because these actually have like O-rings on them. They actually screw down. Also, your pushers and your pull-out dial function pushers and all that, they're all waterproof, the whole thing. So they're rated. So that's why I used to trip people out, because they would always see these big things. And then when I dive in the water, "Hey, you got your watch on, man, get out the pool, get your watch out the pool." And I just keep going. I know. That's like, I know. Then I get out of the water and then I start showing people. I'm like, "See, it's still ticking. It's all good. There's no water inside. There's no water. We're good." But yeah, some of these, like your dive watch, it's probably 200 meters. I'd be willing to, in fact, I'll go look. I'm not going to show anybody what it is because I know what it is. As soon as you said it, Pro Diver 51 millimeter, I'm going to go to Invicta stores right now since we're talking about it. And quite frankly, like I said, when I went to Basel World, I was wearing an Invicta watch that the Invicta store didn't even know about. The people that were working the booth, they thought I worked with they thought I worked for Invicta. So that was the funniest thing. Okay, 51 millimeter Pro Diver. I'm not going to put on screen because this might cause everybody else to go get it. Because the price is so freaking crazy. If it's the one I think it is, it should be the. Let's see. I'm going to pull up the one I think it is. Oh, I'm still on. Oh, this isn't good. I'm still on. DR. It's showing me pesos. That's not good. Pro Diver Gold. Oh, maybe it's not the one I think it is. Oh my. I thought it was going to be this one. Yeah, it should have been around $100. I think. You're going to tell us the price? It's not the one I thought it was. You're going to have to give us the model number. 51 millimeter Gold Diver. It's not the one I thought it was. I thought it had the black dial inside, but it's not the one. Let's see if he's going to tell me. Paul Castillo. Let's see. Yeah. So anyhow, this is the Pro Diver. This is all this stuff. Yeah, I'm an Invicta aficionado. I'm not really a watch guy per se, It's just that I like they're always different. So no two are alike, and they have different colors. Like my icy blue. In fact, I'll show you guys some. I'll just show you guys because I don't know which one he got. So I'll go to Invicta stores, and you guys will see. I don't even know if you can. I'll just put it in. So I was on the Pro Diver page, and here's the gold one, but that's a scuba. Here goes another gold one. Abalone dial. These are 8,000 pesos. 8,000 pesos. What is that? 6,000 is 100. 2,000 more is what? 140, 150, something like that. If that. Here's a Yankees, like I was saying. See, they have these, but here's 20% off on this one. Just never know. So, I was going to show you a watch, and now I forget which one it was. Oh, King Python. So here's King Pythons. And there's the icy blue. Here's the icy blue. But here's this color, purple label. Purple khaki, 22,000. See, this, I don't know what 20, that's like $300. This right here, 30,000. What is that? That's like 30,000 pesos is like $350. See? Yeah, that's correct. I got these right here, these two. They used to be $99. So somebody go to the American website, see if they're the same price. But I got my icy blue for $99. It was on special sale. That's it. Nope, that's not it, because mine doesn't close. They have this shutter one, which is different. You can change it to close. So that's not even mine. I don't have that model. So, yeah, I was wondering because I thought they didn't have them anymore. Yeah, this one's what they call a shutter, and I didn't get that one. I don't really like Python shutters. I don't like those. So anyhow, yeah, this one closes. So it's icy blue, but it closes. So you can leave it closed or you can open it, and it has a different movement, 50-50C. Whereas mine is a 50-30, and it's on the side, Swiss movement. It's a Ronda too. So, but anyhow, that's enough. We're going to close this out tonight. I got a lot of things to do. Here we go. Invicta Pro men's bundle with abalone dial, 8-slot impact. I paid 100. I thought so. Congratulations. I thought so, except he has the abalone dial. I thought it was the black dial. But the abalone dial with the 8-slot, the 8-slot dive case. I don't have any dive cases here, but dive cases are cool. They're airtight. They're really airtight. So that means when you put your watch in there, you don't have to worry about dust and anything like that getting in. I pull my stem out when I have the dive case. I have one with the dive case right now. I'll show that one. I'll just keep it going on Friday. Jason Taylor, the Hall of Famer from the Miami Dolphins. He also reps Invicta Watches. So I have a Jason Taylor watch, and he has a special Jason Taylor dive case that he signs. I don't know if mine's signed or not, but generally he signs them. And so it's different. All of mine are different because that's what I like about it. Nobody's seen them. They're all different. The colors, the color schemes, nobody's seen them. So, I have nothing wrong with you guys. Some people like Rolex. Some people like Breitlinks. They like whatever, the high-end models are. Richard Mille, all these guys, right? Mueller's, which are not that expensive, $800-900. Some people like Tissot. They're about $500 or $600. Some people like Omegas. The Seamaster's a popular one. So, so it all depends. Presidential Rolex, it all depends. You want to spend 15, 20 grand, 5 grand, 10 grand, that's fine. Everybody likes what they like. And I just like the diversity that Invicta has. That's what I like. because it's outrageous, all the stuff they have. It's insane. So there's something for everybody. I mean, look, clearance, bundle. I mean, it's just outrageous. All the different things that you can get, which I'm not really into. But look, lowest prices ever. I wish this was in USD, and I don't know how to get it back to USD. Oh, speaking of that, go to the, you guys can see the American site. This is 4,000 minus 30%. This is a good idea. This is a good idea right here. What is 4,000? Isn't that like 20, 30? Well, could it be 60 minus 30? So it could be like $40. I don't think so. That's crazy. Let me go look. 4,000 DOP to USD. 60. Yeah, it is $69 less 30%. So you only get 21. Man, we got to get a better deal than that. That's crazy. I don't like that deal. There's other toolkits too, but you'll save yourself if you decide to get multiple watches and have to size it, because if you go down to the store, they're trying to charge people $20, $25 nowadays. That takes a minute. So it's kind of wild. But yeah, see all these different models. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Just outrageous how many different, and there's something for everybody. Even kids puppy edition. Well, kids don't really have to get it, the puppy edition, but it's for adults too. But they have kids watches too, which is crazy. Like, look, 38 millimeters, right? I mean, they have something for everybody. And some of these watches look like famous watches, but I didn't know that until I actually started watching a guy from Miami selling watches. And I was like, that looks like my Invicta watch. So it's almost like they may do knockoffs. I don't know. But all I know is I don't see these watches anywhere else. So here's a Pro Diver. This is actually the Pro Diver that I thought you got. This style right here. That's the style I thought you were getting. The gold one with the, but this is only 44 millimeters. It's similar to that one. There's another, it's slightly different, but I thought it was like that style right there. So anyhow, there's so many different types. It's just outrageous. All right, we're going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank everybody for being here. And we went into the Invicta because, I got a few. So we'll see what happens. All right. So here we go. And he gave you the magic number. He only spent 100 with an abalone dial, 51 meters, and has an Invicta 8 slot dive case. Crazy for $100. Okay. Well, I'm sold. I hate these guys. They come out with something new. That's why I don't even look anymore. Because I over here and I'm sitting there like, you know what? Okay, it's only like $99 for the icy blue. I better get it right now. And sure enough, after I got it, the price went up to like $400. So I was happy. And all of the ones I get at special price, like Paul Castillo got his for $100. It won't be $100. Probably like next week. Probably be more if it hasn't already increased, because that's what they do. They'll drop it and then they'll jack it just like $50 to $75 more. Then they'll drop it about $20, $30 and leave it there. So whoever got those that day at that price, you win. So you got to know the sequences though. Wednesday and Thursday, special deals. 30%, 40%, 45%, 35% off whatever prices they're having. And then just keep paying attention. Like if it's a bit too much, if something's 200, 300, then just wait till the next cycle, because they'll eventually drop it down. It all goes by how popular it is. Like right now, there's a watch I've been paying attention to. Let me see. It's something that I never thought I'd get, but can't remember the name of it though. Let me see. Hyper. Yep, here it is. See these right here? These light up. These right here light up at night. These are tubes. So 20, 22, 24, 18. And this is gold. Interesting. I've never seen this one before. So this is one of the, there's two. There's a Black Panther one and there's this one. Oh, looks like we're back. 229 for the tubes. And it lights up when it gets dark, so it changes to something like that. That's pretty cool. And there's only one left. These usually don't last long. I'm shocked. Hey, what happened to the 229? Minus 20%. Open. That makes it like 180 bucks. Let's see. Free shipping over 149 usually. So you don't have to worry about that, but there will be tax. 229 times 0.8. 183. Hyperion. There you go. Hyperion Glow. Pretty sweet. And these are rare because I don't even think they make these anymore. So the fact that these were here, and one day I saw the orange one and I tried to actually get it. And before I could get to the shopping cart and pay for it, I tried to pay for it and it said sold. And I was like, no way. I was looking for that one. I'll show you this one here. I'm not familiar with this. The black and white is not like my favorite at all. Two left. Yeah, these are rare, but the tubes light up at night and they stay lit, which is cool. Like the tritium, whatever. I don't remember what they call it, but what they use, but it's like a gas in there. It's pretty sweet. Luminous tubes, so they stay lit. So they're pretty cool. So all different kind of stuff. All different types of stuff. It's pretty wild. Yeah. All right. We're out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Invicta Watch moment. And now we have another. Paul Castillo has now made the leap. He decided to get his $100 watch, and he's going to be wearing it, and people are going to give him compliments. He's going to be very happy. He's not going to worry about busting it up. Well, it won't bust up anyhow because the quality, it's built pretty nice. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. You're going to be happy. That's all I can say. You're going to be happy because it's quite surprising when you get it. You're thinking that it's just going to be this cheapy thing because you only spend $100. You're going to be like, how the hell are they doing this? I know. They're making some of it in China now. Some of it's assembled in China. You might have a Swiss Rwanda movement inside, but where they don't make it all 100% in Switzerland. So that helps save costs. Like you can make your case somewhere else, crystal somewhere else. Then you put in a Swiss movement, you put in some Swiss arms or whatever, and the next thing you know, it's part Swiss, and it could be called Swiss made or whatever. So it's pretty cool. All right, and no maintenance, like the big boy watches, right? No maintenance like the Rolex watches or any other high-end watches. You just get to wear it and go, replace the battery, done. Unless you have an automatic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's enough about the Invictus. We'll see you on Friday. No. Make sure you pay attention to your emails. If you haven't signed up on our R. Weber newsletter, go down to the bottom of the video. All right? And sign up. Because in the next, either tomorrow or the next day, Oscar's going to come and talk with us about InstaVid AI. It's an opportunity to join the friends and family round. We can't really talk about it there, but you can email Oscar at instavidai.com. I think it's, info at instavidai. And let Oscar know you're from SSN Nation. If you're thinking about it, you can already go there, sign up for free, test it out. I still believe that's an option. And you could see what's going on, gives you an idea, or search the channel for InstaVid AI, and you could see some previous demonstrations. But that was about a month and a half to 2 months ago. So let's see what has happened in the last 2 months, because there is a progression. Slowly but surely, the friends and family is to help with the technology and building it up. It's a startup. So that's why this is like important. If you can get in the startup, it makes it awesome, right? That's how this works. It makes it so awesome. So we'll see how it goes. And with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, I love you like I've always loved you. I thank you so much for your support and for being here. But make sure on the way out, smash the like buttons. Make sure you share the videos. Make sure you join us in a couple of weeks, May 13th, 14th, and 15th in Punta Cana for the Punta Cana Investors Forum. That would be greatly appreciated. And with all that said, just make sure you stay calm, you stay cool, because there's a lot of people out here under duress and under stress. And a lot of people worried about just working and not getting fired. A lot of people worried about driving around. A lot of people are worried. But make sure you stay the course. And we're right here for you. So just come on back Friday night. The chat room will be open for everybody. And I'll see you then. And with all that said, keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.